Comedy cracks, moves at max. It's movie night. The gang's all here, gripped with fear. More horror films, alright. From bad to worse and worse to shit, you'll beg to fucking quit. Malevolent Movies has arrived in stereo now, nowhere to hide.
All right, everybody.
Hey.
All right, hey, everybody. Welcome to Malevolent Movies, the podcast, episode number 44. We are deep in the weeds. That is the rock and roll road trip. This is the fifth episode, technically, so far of the summer series, and it is the final episode of this second chunk, this second tier of the rock and road trip. I'm Ryan Ziegler, and we are joined today by Tyler Am. How you doing, Tyler?
It's actually Tim Allen.
Well, that was a very, that was a youthful Tim the Tool Man.
Yeah, that was early. That was Comedy Factory.
Pre-puberty.
Yeah, back when he was just Tim Dick.
Wow.
We're also, Trevor McCandless is here. Trevor?
Yes, I am the reincarnation of Tim Dick.
Tim Allen
Broadcasting live.
Sean Walsh, of course, is here. Sean?
I don't think so, Tim's.
And oh god, okay, since we have this running joke now about references to Home Improvement, Joseph Robert fucking Buckley is here. Joe, where's your joke?
It's Tool Time. Who's ready for the Tool Time? I'm Tim Allen.
We already have a Tim Allen, okay?
No, but that's the reboot. That's for the reboot on Netflix. That's a
Okay,
Home Improvement reboot.
what's the sound he makes? The guttural throat sound he makes in that one.
Okay.
Disgusting
Asked
pig.
and answered.
Man.
Well, my thoughts on this movie, much like this intro, less is more.
Never. So the movie, though, we'll let Sean and Trevor introduce it because it is their band's pick.
Oh,
So
boy.
Yes.
either or, fellas, which one of you
This
wants
is
to
no. I'll start the I start the breakdown. So I'm gonna leave it to Sean because this is definitely a Sean pick.
Well,
He came out swinging with this, and I mean, I love this. I couldn't fight him on this.
this is Macabre, Don't Call Us Macabre Nights pick for the Rock and Road Trip, second tour pit stop. And we felt so bad that the boys in Average Too Big got kicked off the Rock and Road Trip. We decided to let you join us on the road, boys. And we got Ryan
Hey.
driving the van. We don't let Joe in the van. He's in the back with the equipment. We don't want to know what he's doing back there in the night, but he is keeping the rats
Licking a
away.
Burger King wrapper.
Yeah, this is a nice tuba, you guys. Thanks for the f***le.
Shut up! Damn it, Joe. You're not allowed to make me laugh.
I'm a funny guy. What's wrong with that?
This is why we don't give you the keys to the van, Joe. Okay?
Yeah, because you
Please
turn
let me in the
into a
van. Please let me
demon.
in the van.
No, get back there.
So before Worm Shark came along and kind of foiled the plans, I thought for sure that Ryan and Average Too Big was going to make it through to the second round and pick Black Roses. Didn't happen. Ryan thought Macabre Nights going to pick Black Roses. Didn't happen. So went with Hard Rock Zombies from 1985. And I haven't seen this movie in nearly 2 decades. And I'm so it was time for a revisit. So I can break it down for you a little bit, kind of the basic plot. We got a hot new hair metal band on the scene. They're on the road to play a gig in a small town, and this is going to make all their rock star dreams come true. However, their journey turns into a hellish nightmare when they learn the town is inhabited by a family of murderous monster weirdos that hate rock music and love mayhem and dismemberment.
Yes.
A lot of other shit happens.
Yeah.
It gets very weird.
I'm so glad to own the movie, and because I'm going to be able to add a little extra insight because I watched the plethora of special features and interviews with the band.
Awesome.
Oh, geez.
There's some weird shit. There's some weird shit that happened, stealing the negative and all kinds of stuff as we go along.
So let me ask you this then, Ryan. Was the other movie in your double pack American Drive-In?
No, but as you've done research, American Drive-In was a movie that Hard Rock Zombies initially was going to be a movie within. In other words, this was going to be the movie that plays on the drive-in screen in this movie, American Drive-In, And then for whatever reason, even the guys who made the movie aren't really sure. They were like, fuck it, let's just keep shooting and make a feature.
Yeah,
So-
let's get some nice standing shots.
I'm so happy they
stand
did.
over here for a little bit. Now stand over here, band.
It would be nice if they had added that context at the front of the movie.
Yeah.
I could have used that.
Yeah, and it's funny in the documentaries. Several of the actors are like, "Yeah, we had no idea what was. We thought we were making a short that was just going to be a goofy little thing within a bigger movie, and then we just keep shooting, and then there's more script pages, and they're like, no, we're going to make this into a feature." And they're like, "All right, I guess."
This is going to make this so much harder for me now. God damn it. Well, I want to get my one basic critique out of the way. I was really excited up until the point where the band gets electrocuted, because what I thought was going to happen is that the band was going to turn into zombies or die then, and then come back as zombies, and it was going to be all about taking over the footloose town and killing all of them for killing the rock and roll. Unfortunately, it is kind of that, but with a lot more.
Yeah, they're
You know, when you can't decide what kind of monsters you want in a movie, just say, fuck it, throw them all in.
yeah.
Just
I wish we would have got
monsters.
like a Frankenstein's monster. That would have been cool.
Now,
Yeah.
Ryan, I don't really know. I'm not very versed in Bollywood, but apparently the director, Krishna Shah, was a Bollywood guy initially and did some like Broadway
Yeah.
work. Do you think there's any influence to what the chaos that is Hard Rock Zombies?
It's hard to tell because he's not involved. I mean, he passed away a while back, and he's not involved in any of the interviews or any of the new brand. And these are brand new documentaries like this year, so these are all fresh news. So he's not involved in any of this stuff, and everybody has a different viewpoint on him. But most of the viewpoint is that he was taking this very seriously. Like they were all fucking off. Everybody in the movie was fucking around and just not taking it seriously and goofing off because none of them were actors except for a couple of the smaller parts. They were all legit musicians that just auditioned as a goof. He was trying to make something, and he was taking it seriously. And to everybody else that was like, what the hell are we doing?
Oh, he made something all right.
Yeah.
He certainly did.
Plug in those amps, crank them
Hell
to
yeah,
11.
brother! Meow. So immediately, good sign, Canon Films.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that was, but it's a Canon distributed movie, so it isn't.
Yeah.
The Golan Golas boys weren't actually involved. There's no Michael
No.
Dudikoff in the movie.
It
no
was
ninjas.
just when that begins a movie, it's just a good feeling.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's heaven. I love that.
Yeah.
Do-do-do.
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be really fucking weird, and it is. So then we are speeding down a road, going through a tunnel, and then on the screen is splashed Hard Rock Zombies in this giant red lettering, and we see that two dudes are driving a convertible, and they see a hitchhiking blonde babe.
Sorry.
Fuck was that?
Those Malevolent movies.
I was gonna say, is
Hey, we're
Tyler
getting real
singing at
meta.
your house?
It's the
We're
ghost of
getting real
Krishna
meta.
Shah.
We don't need no Inception on this podcast. That's too much.
Okay, and then we immediately get a classic Malevolent movies cross-cutting two events. Because we see these guys driving their car, and then we see cut to a lake in the woods where two little people dance around a guy taking photos of a lake. Then we're cutting back and we're seeing that they are picking up that blonde babe. Then the three from the car arrive at the lake and immediately get naked and dive on in. And they haven't spoken a word. We got nothing.
The 80s, man. This is the 80s.
Yeah.
You just jump
A
right
picture.
in.
Yep. It's free love.
Jesus, Joe.
No, that was why. Yeah, that happened.
In '86, no.
Oh, why? I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Oh, well.
Wow.
New rule. We speak of not which we know not.
Yeah,
I don't know if that made sense.
What? Is that some kind
I
of
get
riddle?
you. I
I had a
get you.
stroke in the middle of it.
it is
Yeah.
a riddle.
Okay.
Hey, Tyler, plug your ears. Joe, find a way to do that tuba bit again sometime during this episode.
Okay. I'll try to squeeze it in.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh,
Hey!
Tyler, hey.
I hope,
So
I hope
anyway.
nobody tries to spoof me by repeating a joke from earlier.
Never.
So Jimmy Olsen is snapping away at these skinny dipping teens, and they're just kind of splashing around the lake. And then we get a better look at the, I call them the little guys. I feel bad calling them the little guys, but I don't know
I
their
have
names.
their names if you want.
Oh, what are the names? What are the names?
So the Mickey
One
is
looks like
the
a
normal,
monster man.
Yeah, Mickey is the normal guy, which is
Okay.
for movie nerds out there and fans of Trolls 2, or Ghoulies 2, sorry. That's Phil Fondacaro. He's been in tons of movies. You'll recognize him if you watch a lot of 80s horror. But the other guy, his brother, I guess, Bucky, that's not a joke. His name is Bucky. He's like got something going on with him physically.
He got monster face.
Yes, he's got
his face is all fucked up.
He looks like a monster.
I'm so disappointed in all of you for not catching this. Bucky is known as son of Quasimodo on my notes.
Oh,
You bastards.
Oh, son of Quasimodo. But no, if he's the son of, and I don't want to spoil anything, but if he's the son of Quasimodo then is Hitler.
Mm.
Well, related to.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that because Hitler's in this movie.
They're the Tennessee Hitlers.
There's
nothing to do with.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of Quasimodo because I was still focused on Devil's Story. I'm like, oh, maybe this is like the long lost cousin of Goopy from Devil's Story.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Oh my gosh.
And Boobus is their pet cat.
Oh, gentle Boobus. Everyone loves Boobus.
Okay, so Mickey and Bucky are we get a look at them and see that one of them has a full-on monster mask face. He looks like that mask from the Goosebumps movie.
Oh yeah, the haunted mask.
Yeah, that's the one that Alex Mack has on her face. And then they're just kind of watching them laughing, and the blonde lady in the lake drowns the boys one by one, but when she drowns them, there's like a bunch of blood coming up.
I figured she was knifing them underwater.
But she isn't. We see her just like put her, I guess she's digging her
Maybe
nails.
She's got really sharp nails.
Yeah.
Coral reef.
There's a coral reef down there, and she just grinding them on there.
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Like a grater.
A shark-infested lake.
Yeah.
No kidding.
There are worm sharks in that lake.
Yeah, watch out for barnacles.
What?
God. Seaman Buckley's here.
Well, I don't like the water, but I have to live in it because my wife kicked me out.
Cold, dark eyes like a doll's eyes.
I'll give
Joe,
it
that's
for
for a movie,
5,000,
Joe,
but I'll bring you the whole thing for 10.
That's from a movie called Jaws, Joe.
I understand, yeah. I did research into that film.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's said by a shark named Jaws.
Yeah.
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 Fucking shark named fucking Jaws.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
find
by-
Jaws for you.
It's by a shark named Jaws 4.
Trevor, power through. You can do this.
They drag
Bucky,
the bodies
just
out of
think about Bucky,
the, they
just think
drag
about
the
Bucky.
bodies out of the
Yeah.
lake and start cutting them apart. They have a really weird jump cut as they cut the hand off. And she weakly sings, "I wanna hold your hand," and then there's a hard cut to Chuck the drummer, and then lead singer Jesse hits the stage, and it's showtime.
Oh, yeah.
And they start playing just the bippest, boppinest little number you ever did hear. But they're supposed to be like a metal band.
Dude, yeah, they have like, they're wearing the tight leather pants and with the zebra print or leopard print, whatever the fuck it is. And they got like bullet belts and they look all badass.
Bulges for days.
Yeah, this long hair. They're straight up like Spinal Tap, but they sound like Huey Lewis in the News.
Yeah, shake it up, baby. And they're just like, so basically they hit the stage and they play this entire fucking song.
It's like a music video.
Yeah, and everybody in like the crowd is rocking, is loving it. They're having a great time. But there's these old middle-aged men at the bar, and they're like grumbling about how this is like trash. Like, I can't believe the kids are listening to this. Like treating it like it's like this super like black speed metal or
It's
some
like
shit.
a cow dying and shit.
Yeah, and they're just up there
mayor.
like, shake it up, baby.
They're like Elvis.
Yeah, it felt so strange.
I gotta ask you guys.
Don't you old people like this kind of music? And this for you?
You paid to get into the show. You're watching the show. You're complaining about the show. But I gotta ask you guys because I watched it a couple times, and were those guys that were complaining at the bar this first concert, were they the same townspeople that they
Yes.
see later?
Yeah, it's the mayor,
Okay.
the sheriff, and whoever the other guy is.
Okay.
I don't know what his.
Okay.
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
absolutely
So
them.
they went out of their way because they knew this band was coming through town.
Yeah, they're checking. Well, they're
guess
basically they're
They're
checking it
vetting.
out. Yeah, they're checking it out to see who is these long-haired rock and rollers that are going to be coming through our town of Grand Guignol.
Yeah, I don't want them in my nice town. I hear they come in the tuba.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
God, the tuba's back.
Hey.
Oh my
Do it
God, I'm
again
so
later.
surprised and upset.
Yeah, shocking.
Robert.
I want 4 more.
Oh, okay, I can do that.
Four more.
But try and find it like a fun way or like a unique
Yeah,
way to
find a fun
incorporate tuba
Yeah.
into what
If
you're
it comes
saying.
out
Yeah.
organically, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I want, Joe. I want to. Yeah, that's what I want.
Okay.
So backstage, Ron, the manager, is talking to the band, demanding that they. Is it take press photos? Is it play as another show? What is it exactly they need to
Get
do?
grinded on.
He
It's-
wants
He's got to get the pictures.
Yeah,
he wants salacious pictures of them with groupies that he can send off to promotion companies to show that they're popular, essentially.
yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay, yeah, all right, fine.
And
We're all on
Jesse
board.
and Jesse has a hog on him, guys, and
Oh, his bulge
Big
is like
fat
he's
cock.
smothering
it's
a car.
right there.
Are we talking
It's
about the
right
bulge of his
there.
mustache or his dingus?
His dingus. His ding. Well, his
Oh,
mustache is delicious, but that bulge that he's sporting in right there in that shot, and he's having a hard time putting his pants on. I want,
Of all the people in this group to be like lusciously discussing some man's bulge, I did not expect it to be
hilarious.
Ryan.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't look away. I was like, God damn it! I was jealous. I was jealous.
One
You were
horn
hungry.
dog to another.
You realize it was
game
probably
recognized
the,
game.
the prop department that built that dingus, right?
No,
we've all
no,
seen
that's all
it.
natural.
No,
You don't think
no.
that's
They
his
talk
Spinal
about that
Tap?
in the documentary. They talk about that in the documentary.
Oh,
He was
boy.
embarrassed. He didn't realize that. There's a lot of things throughout this
Jesus.
movie these guys didn't realize was going on because they're just fucking around. They didn't even sometimes know that they were being filmed.
Well, he's
So
so
there's-
close to the camera in these tidy whities. Everybody else is in the background. He's in the foreground. Like, hey, look at me.
Yeah, he's like, I had no idea, man. I had never been in a movie before.
I didn't know that you can't show your underwear to the camera if you don't want your
Yeah.
underwear visible.
It makes sense, but I'm frustrated
Yeah,
that it makes
it
sense.
does.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, you got to go party with these girls. Here they are, sign their boobs and butts and stuff.
Yeah, the big thighs.
Yeah, but Jesse doesn't want to do all that. Their thighs.
I don't like the
hate-
idea that that's one of Joe's things now, is Joe's into the ladies' thighs.
You thigh
Yeah.
man, Joe? You like the inner thigh or the outer
Hey,
thigh?
you know, nothing
I'm
wrong
the
with a
ladies,
nice.
or wait, no,
itty
I'm the
thigh.
birds and the birds.
See, Joe, in England specifically, birds is another name for women.
Yeah, because they're always flapping around and stuff and like picking up pieces of metal off the ground and building nests.
flying around from place
Son
to
of a
place.
bitch.
Where
I
they
hate
need
that
to
we
go.
keep setting him up. This is
I know.
I do appreciate that he is knocking him down each time, though, even if he is just kind of pushing him over.
with a
Yeah,
wiffle
Joe,
ball
just
bat.
focus on coming up with some tuba bits. Be quiet until you get it.
I'm generating
on the
them.
tuba bits.
I'll sneak in a couple. Yeah, don't worry.
Okay, so Jesse
I wasn't.
Jesse doesn't want to have this horny party with the girls, and he walks out of the room into this creepy hallway. This like pitch black hallway, and he meets Cassie outside, who is his girlfriend? Question mark?
No, that's the first time
I
he's ever
took it
seen it.
as his future muse.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he's like, "What's with?"
Okay.
He's like, "What are you doing, little girl?"
yeah. He leaves to get away. He doesn't
And he
expect
calls her
to.
little
Yeah,
girl.
no, yeah, he does.
Right.
I
Yeah, it's calling her
know,
little girl.
I know. Oh.
Creepy.
No, she's
Yeah.
probably 18.
Uh,
He's only 35. It's fine.
Maybe in the 80s.
Yeah.
Maybe she was 18 then, but she. Where's my
Fuck you,
notes at?
Trevor. Remember.
I can't. Oh God.
He's talking to
oh, yeah.
Cassie, and he's
Yes. So she warns him not to go to the next show. She's like, "You're gonna play your next show in Grand Ridge, Illinois. Don't do it. Don't
And
do
then
it."
yeah. They all
My
laugh because there's not
father-
enough outdoor power. That entire town can't power a band.
No.
The only thing that they would do in Grand Ridge, much like Oh shit, he was just in the news. I lost the joke. Fuck it.
Okay,
God damn it.
Yeah.
No,
we
the
have
guy
a beer
that dro-
garden. We have a granted
No,
beer
the guy
garden.
that
We got
dropped the
bands coming
dookie in
over.
Chicago. Dave Matthews.
Dave Matthews
Oh,
Band.
They
Dave
would drop
Matthews
their
Band.
dookie off in Grand Ridge and keep moving.
Absolutely
yeah.
not. No,
Totally
they would
nailed
play.
it.
They would play for
Grandidians-
us.
Let me
The Grand
fill up that
Ridgians
silo.
would say waste not, want not, and they'd create a bags type of game involving throwing poop.
We do
into
enjoy
each other's
playing
mouths.
bags. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's the cornhole. That's what the game's called.
Yeah.
Who's down for some cornholing, we say.
In the Buckley family, when they say cornhole and bags, you're not sure if they're talking about the game or they're talking about Joe's parents.
Mm. The ball bags, is that what you're implying? Really? Really, Ryan?
Really? Really? All right, Joe, get down on your hands and knees and gape. We're cornholing.
That's not the Buckley family game.
Yeah, whenever they don't have one of the like board things, Joe just takes his pants off and gapes, and you can throw it in my bottom.
We've got some Chicago Bears like cornhole boards.
Cornhole.
Cornhole.
So anyway, the next day, the band
Holy
is all
shit.
practicing their
This is off the
tubas,
This
and they're all
podcast is
crammed
like
in the
Hard Rock
back of
Zombie.
a van. They're all crammed into the back of a van. And Jesse's playing his bass and singing some weird medieval song.
Oh, yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
worst song I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it's a chant.
terrible. Yeah, it's a chant. Yeah,
And it's going to come
one of-
back, though.
yeah. And one of them's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, where'd you get that?" And he says he got it from a book. It says you can raise the dead with using music. And this whole time, Ron, who's driving, Ron the manager, keeps like swatting and killing this fly near him. But then Jesse keeps bringing it back to life. He
I
smacks
love
it
that.
again.
I thought that was
That
a
was
great bit.
fun.
For
Yeah,
this
that was a
kind of
good one.
movie.
Yeah.
The foreshadowing that, that's going to raise the dead and it's happening to the fly. I thought that was kind of clever.
Yeah, that was nice.
I was
appreciate
surprised.
that. Yeah. And then they see a hitchhiking lady, the same hitchhiking lady from before.
You
Oh
see her
my
thigh.
God. I
You
hope she
see her
doesn't
thigh,
kill the
right,
whole
Joe?
band and bring them back as zombies.
I hope she doesn't spend most of the movie
know.
dancing.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know why she was always thrusting and hip hopping. I don't know. I guess that was her thing.
I think
I
that
don't know.
it's a literal or an interpretive form of what's happening. Her rhythms are bringing forth the zombies.
The gyration.
That's the
Yeah,
only thing that
yeah.
made sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elsa's in the van with the band and Ron. The band attempts to make small yet flirty talk with the hitchhiker Elsa. There's some wordplay around strange girls, both big and small. But Tommy and Ron seem concerned about the weird town, all these warnings they're getting. But then Elsa offers her place for free, and the boys are in, most in particular the drummer. The van pulls into the gate of, we're just immediately there, pulls into the gate of some manor. And then the visual epilepsy began, where we get a werewolf howl, and then while we're slowly zooming in on what is like an attic window, and then cutting into what I assume is the attic, where a werewolf dressed as an old maid holding two switchblades sitting in a wheelchair is howling. And that
That's
visual,
absolutely correct.
it's already hard to just like, if they just sat on that shot for a minute, I still wouldn't have a complete picture, but they're fucking hard cutting in and out. It was hurting my brain. But that's it. That's all you get of that. The crew outside is like, what the, ooh, that's spooky. But then Mickey.
Quiet down, Graham. That's what she says.
Yeah.
God.
Who's she?
Elsa.
Okay.
I'm just trying to help out.
You
Also,
gotta
she says it's her
know when to
mother.
Hold 'em. No.
Or she says mama. Is that supposed to mean grandma? Or does it mean
I think
her
it's a
mother?
grandma. I think it's her grandma.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
really
know.
sure the family.
Well,
Because she's real
yeah.
young. She's like 20-ish.
Jesus Christ,
Joe,
Joe.
you're
You have no
now,
concept of
you-
age.
I was gonna say you have zero concept of age. They're either decrepit as fuck, or
Yeah,
they're
fuck
like,
you,
"Eh,
Sam
19,
Neill, you
20."
old bastard.
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember that, Joe?
I remember
remember
that. He was
that.
very old
This
in
is
the Jurassic
Inception.
Park
Malevolent
film.
Movies Inception. We're bringing in
Yeah.
Buckley's
Yeah.
blockbusters. Anyways,
If you want to figure out what we're talking about, go watch the Buckley's Blockbuster Jurassic Park episode.
After this episode,
Jurassic World. God, okay. Anyways,
Yeah, it's not Jurassic Park 6.
a woman of some relation to Elsa is this werewolf switchblade maniac. Mickey, who is in Ryan, what's the actor's name? The little person.
Phil Fondacaro, Caro.
Okay. I wrote down initially that he was a butler, but I don't quite understand his role in the family. But he offers Tommy a hand. Tommy's got some guitar cases, and Tommy's like, sure. And then Mickey hands him a real bloody dead hand. And Tommy freaks out. Oh my God. But Mickey is getting a kick out of it. Elsa chastises him. She talks about taking his toys out. He's not supposed to do that. And then all of a sudden we get Nazi Mr. Clean splitting wood. We just hard cut to this guy splitting wood. The crew's watching him. Everyone's baffled. We get more werewolf howls. And then that's when Elsa says, oh, that's just Mama. And then the band's heading into the house, and I may have missed him initially. Is this the first time we see the suited gentleman with the camera?
No, we see him in the very beginning.
He was taking pictures.
Okay. So I didn't start really paying attention until my part, so I missed that. But anyways, we get the paparazzi man, he's back. Is this like a son of the family then? I didn't quite understand.
It might be. I don't know.
I just assumed maybe it was like Elsa's brother or something. There's a lot of Lucky Stiff family shit in here.
Mm-hmm.
And
you've got this weird backwoods. Yeah.
And I mean, there's somebody's section later will touch on a dinner, but very Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes in this family.
Definitely.
But anyways, we cut to Elsa and Mickey. They are in some dark room that has a shelf full of jars, and she's taking the fake hand, or quote unquote fake hand from him, putting it into a jar of Buckley's patented peach nipple juice. And Elsa chants, "Make of our hands one hand." I don't know what that is because it doesn't really come back. Does it?
It sounded like an actual church hymn or a play off an actual church hymn that I remember from back in the day. I think so.
Well, she's got a big thing with hands because she keeps taking hands. There's a hand wandering
she's shaking
around,
hands, doing business deals.
She says to one of the band members, "Hey, please go knuckle deep in my tuba slit."
Fuck you! God damn it! You don't deserve that.
As a former tuba player, there is no slit to the tuba.
Keeping my tuba slit. There you go, guys. There you go, fans of Malevolent Movies. Hashtag that shit.
Yeah, fans of Malevolent Movies, I call that a real red blanket.
No, that's a good joke. Go knuckle deep on me, please.
What the fuck are you doing right now? Stop screaming this stuff.
I'm sorry. I just want to get it out there.
God. Oh, fucking hell. Okay. Anyways, I have written down the hardest of cuts, from the hand jar situation to the band roughhousing and dancing on a bridge while the most 80s workout party music ever plays.
I love this scene.
We essentially get a music video of the band having a good time. They're dancing. The locals are joining them. And the "you're not from round here" players stare from a distance. This goes on for 2.5 minutes, and it ends with the band getting their picture taken in one of those cutout head things of their own bodies,
which is actually their background prop to their stage. Because if you notice in the first scene when they're doing the concert, they had the cutout of them behind them while they were playing. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, everybody likes it when they're rock concert. It's like Coney Island. Everybody loves that.
What the fuck do you know about Coney Island?
Yeah.
They got the headstandies.
They've got the headstandies.
Ugh, Joe Buckley.
Headstandies. And warriors come out.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Warriors, come
Joe.
put your head in the standees.
Well, what's wrong with that standees? The Coney Island. What's wrong with that little Coney Island?
Fuck me in my tuba slit.
Go knuckle deep on me.
It's funnier when Trevor says it like a normal person.
Yeah.
I'll let him have that one. That's fine.
Okay.
How generous!
See,
what a generous comedian
This
you
is
are, Joe.
This is a new bit. This is a new part of every Malevolent Movies episode where we roast Joe for a little bit too long, and then he acts like a teacher who wants to get back to his thing.
No, I want to get back to business. Let's go, people. We got homework to do.
Okay. I say, let's Joe.
Okay, here we go. Cassie, or as our Jesse doesn't quite know yet, the girl, the pigtail girl, is watching them. Jesse shouts at her and then races after her. Already off to a rough start. She runs into her father, who immediately scolds her for maybe participating in the previous music video we just saw. He sends her home, so Jesse's like, oh, this is a great moment for me to introduce myself to future father-in-law. The dad tells him to get the fuck out of town, you little pecker. Jesse explains they've got a big show tomorrow, so sorry, they can't leave. And he responds with, you got shit tomorrow, sonny. So this was quite enjoyable. This actor is quite uncomfortable. And so his delivery is...
I laughed.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
We catch up with Ron, who is being harassed by 3 locals, which we later learn are like the council members. And the sheriff, who's sporting an unbuttoned shirt. Oh, quick question. You may have said this already. I'm assuming this is, I think they say it's in California, but was this filmed in Texas?
No, it was filmed in L.A. It was filmed in some really, really rough areas of L.A. The reason the sheriff looks the way he does is from the comment or from the interview is the actor auditioned with sides. Then when he got the script, he was so embarrassed of what this movie was going to be, he wanted to get out of it. He couldn't get out of it, so he figured he would just disguise himself the whole movie. So he put those glasses on. Someone had given him a California Highway Patrol hat, and he just so that's why he's dressed like that. And the director was like, that's fine, whatever.
But anyways, Ron's getting harassed by the council members and the sheriff, and then I intentionally didn't go back because I didn't want to get the context. I know that they exchanged some dialogue, but we just hard cut to the band getting put in like a chicken coop of a jail, like with like hay and like old wooden boxes and stuff. So I don't quite know what happened, but then I was immediately distracted by Ron, who's gets really upset, and he calls the sheriff a son of a bitch. And then he does the like what is that gesture called where you like lift your arm up and use your other arm to like hit your elbow joint?
Yeah, it's
He's
like
a
it's like, hey, fuck you. Yeah, it's like another
the
version.
fucking
time he
with
flipping
the
you
arms.
off.
But he's like,
Yeah,
He does it like Joe would do it if he's really wound up.
Yeah.
And on camera.
He did like Joe when he's doing stand up and he's got like 6 people from his Discord watching.
Well, that's good.
He
That's a
just
good
goes over
audience.
the fucking
6
top.
people.
I mean, that's what that audience wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he plays to his audience.
Ron's upset. He's shouting at the sheriff, and we cut to the sheriff unfurling a canceled banner over the picture cutout, which is just like it just felt weird. Like there isn't like a sign nearby that says big show tomorrow night. And he unfurls it over that. He does it over the cutout heads, which if people didn't know the band, then by their crotch and torso, then it's just the heads are canceled. Don't put your heads in here. Actually, it would have been funnier if he put it over the faces. That would have been.
Yeah.
At this point, gentlemen, may I bring up a good point? Does anybody actually know the name of the band?
Nope.
No.
Yes. Holy Moses.
Okay.
Fuck
Do they
you.
actually
Never
say
mind.
that? Do they actually say that in the movie?
I don't know if they say it. It's on their van.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know if
did
they
remember
say it
seeing
in the
the
movie, but
Holy
it is
the
on their van.
Because
It
I
is on
don't.
their
I don't
van.
think any character says "Holy Moses."
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I don't know if anybody actually says the name of the band. I just know that it is. It was on the side of the bus.
Well, we're gonna have to dock at points. Sorry, gang.
No.
But Ryan said he's been listening to the music on
I
Spotify. We get
fucking
points
love
for
the
that.
songs. I love the songs.
Is
of
that-
Hard Rock
is,
Zombies, and it is on Spotify. The whole fucking
Sonic
album.
Grave is Sonic Grave on Spotify.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
so.
But you just have to look up kicks because those were just kicks.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Unfurls the cancel banner. Blah blah blah. The band.
Get to the old people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Get to the fucking.
We cut. I think it's supposed to be like a cut in time, but it doesn't really feel like it. The editing is not great, but I think some time passes. The band's kind of relaxed. They're having a good time. They're kind of chit chatting and everything. And then somebody drops some money through a window onto, I can't if it's Jesse's face or somebody's face, but Jesse looks out the window and they're reading this thing and it's, oh my gosh, I got some money together for your bail. I don't know how much it is, blah, blah, blah. And it's Cassie, the girl, and Jesse's flirting with her. This is really where the concerning aspects of their relationship just it rears its ugly head. But her dad shows up immediately like a fucking specter and takes her away. And then blammo, geriatric sex all over the screen. We are treated to some hardcore fucking from Elsa's grandparents or parents. The grandfather or father of which we learn is 97 years old. And then all of a sudden, in the lower right and left of the frame, immediately next to the bed, like almost sliding up onto the bed.
You just see some stubby fingers.
We see Mickey and Bucky just watching, and they seem very involved. And so Grandpa and Grandma are like, what are you doing? Oh, blah, 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 some German and blah, 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 blah. Remember, German. And they do some negotiating with Mickey, and so Grandpa says, okay, fine. You can watch, but you can't touch. And I'm done.
Fair.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Much like the Buckley household.
Yeah, except that they're talking about the fridge. It's empty anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No, we have food in it. We have lunch.
All right.
The implication of Joe being offended that, no, we have food.
Yeah, we do.
All right. So the band, then we cut to the band, newly released from jail. We find out that Elsa is actually the one who bailed him out because the money they got from Cassie wasn't quite enough. Elsa, of all people, bailed them out. I wonder why. I thought she was part of the town. I thought she would hated them as well, but no. So the band, kind of smug, goes up to the sheriff. They talk some shit back and forth. We're going to have a big rock show. It's going to be a loud rock show. You scared of our rock show? Just, really rubbing it in. And the sheriff says, no, we're stopping it. There's not going to be a show. No show guaranteed. And the manager, Ron's like, how are you going to stop us? And he's like, there are ways. Ominous. Ron tells the band, Jesse then he meets up with Cassie. He just knows where she's at. He sniffs her out, I guess. She's just hanging out in some busted down truck somewhere.
Yeah, in some like irradiated wasteland.
Yeah. He just steps into Mad
like
Max.
That little scene like that little scene in Endgame when Tony and Scott are chilling in that car.
Yes.
And Steve's like, well, we fucked up.
Yeah. It's kind of reminds me of have you ever been to Six Flags Great America? The Batman ride. They've got, when you're waiting in line, you got all those busted out cars, the weeds growing through them.
Hey, just send one. It's fine.
So yeah, Jesse meets up with Cassie in the old truck. And Cassie warns him about Elsa. He's like, what's wrong with Elsa? She bailed us out. She's cool.
Yeah, she's
Cassie's
pretty.
Cassie's like, no, but she won't tell him why. She's being real aloof.
Sorry. I forgot to mention this. Did anybody else think that Elsa looked like Sarah, Sean's wife?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
There are
Really?
shots of there are shots definitely, especially the moment I thought it was coming up when the band is rehearsing.
Pre-zombification.
Oh, yeah, that's much more pleasant.
I definitely got the vibe. Yeah. Yeah.
As much as we love Sarah's new loose dead skin, she looks more like Sarah from Grace's room.
Yeah.
But
I missed all this. Apparently, I married Hitler's daughter.
The tear rolls down Joe's face. Married.
I can't believe it. I don't have a chance now.
And then it rolls in his mouth and he spits it out because it's not Monster.
Yeah. He drinks
I know,
enough of
right,
it. It could be 7% Monster.
That's true.
7% Monster, 10% asbestos. The Buckley house isn't up to fucking code.
No.
We are clearly in a riff mood today.
This is the podcast version of Hard Rock Zombies. Anything we want to throw at the fucking wall, we're throwing it.
Yeah.
Whether it sticks or not.
This doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's our new
it's
theme. The
fine.
episode has to fit the vibe of the movie. And this I think it's working. At least
This is this one.
Yep, here's Nick's new clown character, Gingleberry.
All right, so Jesse. Oh yeah, so all right, Jesse's talking to Cassie. Cassie's talking about how Elsa is not to be trusted, and then Jesse's like, "Hey, what's your name? I need to know your name. I wrote a song about you." And she's like, "I don't want to tell you my name." He's like, "What's your name?" I don't want to tell you your name. It's fine. Her name's fucking Cassie. We know, the audience knows it's Cassie. He finally knows Cassie. All right, now he can finish the song that he had been writing in the jail for her and about her. He also gives her a ring. We cut to a mansion a few minutes later, 10 minutes later. where the band is getting ready to rehearse, I guess, or maybe that's where the concert was going to be. But it's outside of the manor, outside of the mansion. It's kind of on the porch and kind of on the floor or the grass.
All over the place.
And Mickey, while this is going on, Mickey is on the balcony with Bucky, teaching him how to pronounce the names of the instruments, like drums and tuba.
Nothing, Joe?
It's fine. I got nothing. I'll throw them in
You
later.
had something by then. That's fine.
Joe will leave you hanging. He'll leave you hanging.
That was a real Joe moment where Ryan waited for the applause but didn't get it.
Yeah, I was waiting for Joe to come in with his tuba bit because I think it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Sometimes the batter doesn't hit the pitch, no matter how good it is.
Well, you can't hit it out of the park every single
Sandberg
time.
that shit. Okay, hold on. So I do want to stop here and say a little bit about one of the members of the band. The keyboardist, Robbie. In real life, this guy's had a massive career. He's part of Bryan Adams' group. He's been a studio musician for hundreds of amazing people. The dude's had an incredible career on top of that. So there are some legit, really good musicians in this movie. It just blows my mind that the guy's like, yeah, I do Hard Rock Zombies, and then I go on tour with Bryan Adams and get gold records and shit.
Well, you can tell in this scene in particular, and also later on, that like this guy legit knows what he's doing. Like when they're playing along to the song, he is actually playing along to the song.
Absolutely.
Unlike Chuck, the drummer, who's fucking off the entire time.
No, in real life, I believe Chuck was a bassist, maybe, or maybe he was a pianist too. Like, I don't think he was a drummer in real life, but he was a musician as well. They were all real musicians. As a matter of fact, the lead singer went on to have a band that had a little bit of success, but it was produced and shepherded by Gene Simmons. So these guys were all part of that scene there in the 80s. But anyway, so yeah, now the band is getting ready to play, and Tommy starts fretting about all the creeps and weirdos at the mansion. He's like, aren't you guys kind of upset by all these psychos and monsters? And he starts predicting that they're all going to be murdered by people with knives and chainsaws. And he says Chuck is going to be stabbed to death in the shower. And Chuck's like, well, if it's with Elsa, I can't wait to get my hands on her.
I don't mind about that, yeah.
I don't
And
mind
it's all
about
foreshadowing. Yeah.
Not one bit.
And so now the
You're
band launches.
soaking.
What?
I said, you're soaking.
I love that. I love that. That's a recurring bit. What?
I know, it's my favorite. What?
Like a parent.
Joe.
You
It's
can
a
have your
love-hate
mac and
thing.
cheese later.
So then the band launches into Cassie. He now has her name so he can fully sing the chorus. But after just a few moments of them playing and the weirdos in the house watching them, Mickey starts fucking around with some of the power cords above them and causes the band to almost be electrocuted to death. They're electrocuted for long enough that they probably should have died, but they somehow survive. And,
Well, it's an old house. Maybe it's low ampage.
Yeah, maybe slow ampage.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, electrician Buckley here.
Joe, can you solve Texas's electrical grid problems for us right now?
Oh yeah, no, I can. That's easy. Yeah, just make more of them. Spend the money.
More grids.
There you go.
Yeah,
More electric tubas everywhere.
yeah.
Joe,
Sometimes I
explain
spit
me-
into a big tuba.
What-
I use
what's
it
an
as a
ampere?
spittoon.
What's
Huh?
an ampere? What's an ampere?
Well, it's a measurement of electricity. It's 1,000 electricities per second.
Okay.
Fucking hell.
All right. So yeah, then the people in the house apologize. Oh, we don't know what happened. Cut to the town city hall, where we got the mayor, the sheriff, and the townsfolk are all gathered for an emergency meeting. Then we get some comedic semantics about whether or not they're holding an emergency session or a meeting. One guy's stuttering a bunch. It goes on a little long for my taste, but at the same time, there's just a vibe that I was like, yeah, I'm all right with it. Let's just hang out with these
They're
guys.
having fun.
Yeah. The mayor then proposes an addition to Statute 6969, which causes a little titter. A little
Joe, did you
throughout
laugh? Did you laugh so hard, Joe?
Oh, I chuckled. I got hard. I came a little bit. Great film.
I was gonna say as a joke, I laughed so hard I came.
Yeah.
But you just fucking said it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your thunder. Your love and thunder.
No, it's not my
Hey,
fucking thunder.
it's
Fuck
fucking
you.
Great.
Yeah,
Guess
it
what's
is
up next
fucking
on
dumb.
Buckley's Blockbusters game?
Yay. Good, make him watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. He'll pretend to like it because the director.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, Statute 6969, the crowd laughs, actually. Anyway, this is a statute that says that rock music, or the proposal is that rock music should fall under existing town bans against gypsies, circus acts with lewd shows, door-to-door sales of intimate vices, and stage plays that depict unnatural acts or call into question American foreign policy. Everyone cheers. So, and I should say Ron, the band manager, is there because he's there. He's wanted to plead their case. So he's kind of watching this like us, the audience, just shaking his head, being like, what the fuck's wrong with this town? The council then opens the floor, and we hear from Edna, who claims that her Reader's Digest says rock songs have hidden messages. Then we hear from Blanche, who says that her National Enquirer says musicians can't play a single note unless they eat drugs first. We get Luann, who...
just musicians. Not rock musicians, not heavy metal musicians.
Just musicians, yeah.
The organist at church can't, twinkle them keys unless she's blowing a couple rails
she
first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Kenny. If Kenny G shows up there with his curls are flapping in the wind and starts blowing into that weird little thing.
Mushroom omelet first?
Yeah.
Because if he didn't, you're having for a bad show.
So then we also meet Luann, who says her ill mother sent along a note, which she pulls out of her bosom and reads. And she says, the note says that rock promotes sex, premarital sex, and worst of all, physical sex. But she's into it. I think she'd party. I think she'd fucking party. And then finally, Cassie's dad, one of the best guys in the movie. We've talked about him. He gets up there smoking on his little cigarette.
Oh my God. I love this guy.
And he says, he claims that, teens listen to this rock music on their headphones behind closed doors and have fantasies that then lead to self-abuse. And unfortunately, here's where Joe gets to come in at one of my favorite jokes in the entirety of the movie. Is the response to the self-abuse.
1 second. This question is for primarily Ryan, maybe Sean a little bit. So this period of the 80s where everyone was afraid of everything, the rock and roll, the movies, the loud music, the D&D, all of that stuff.
Satanic panic.
Okay, was this all because of that one thing, or was there some other sweeping conservative movement that I'm just not familiar with? Because why are we so fearful of all of this?
I mean, there are documentaries about it that go deeper. I only know that a lot of it has to do with rock and roll music. You had Ozzy, a kid killed himself, and they claimed that it was because of his song Suicide Solution. Judas Priest had something similar where parents came forward and said that their kid killed himself because of the music. You had guys like Geraldo Rivera having shows about Satanists and demons, all of this shit. In the
mid-80s, in Congress trying to plead rock music's case.
Yes, PMRC, and it just all came to a head in the mid-80s. And you got Ronald Reagan, very conservative president, really pushing this kind of ideals and stuff. But they call that the satanic panic.
Could you imagine Joe in Congress pleading comedy's case?
Oh,
I could do it.
Let alone the
That's
entire
a good
world.
video idea right there. We'll get him dressed up like Dee Snider, get him in the wig and everything.
Joe, I just set you up like Family Guy. Do something with it.
No, I understand. So you in the courtroom think that cum talk is sinful. Well, I'm here to tell you, everybody comes. No. Men come, women come, everybody in between comes. They make cum, they make semen, they make squirt, and I'm gonna tell you right here, it's natural. Everybody should be allowed to do it, and everybody should be allowed to make jokes about it.
Not funny, comedy's canceled.
No!
It wasn't funny, but damn it, you get me with the make squirt.
Yeah,
God bless America.
Please do not take a belt sander to my groin.
No,
not at all what we were talking about. It's like you got a bingo card there, and you saw belt sander, then you see groin a couple feet down. You're like, belt sander to my groin.
No, they were mostly concerned.
There was no belt sander talk. There was no groin talk at the Senate hearings for PRMC.
They were mostly concerned about filthy sex sin, so the optimal solution would just be to grind away the genitals of these filthy band members.
Stop killing comedy, boy!
Okay. It's your part now,
well,
Joe.
it's going to take a while if they want to grind up Jesse's hog.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Fucking Jesse, man.
So, Stephen King rudely interrupts the meeting to regale...
Hold on a minute. That's not your joke.
I thought that was an actual Stephen King cameo.
No, you did not. You've taken that from Tyler's notes.
No, I thought Tyler was saying that I thought that was actually Stephen King.
I kind of believe him right now.
Yeah.
You honestly believe that Stephen King In
I didn't know he was cameoed a bunch of
at
stuff.
this time where he is like in the throes of Hollywood, he's even directing his own movie while doing tons of cocaine. Probably
He was just
around
on the
same
street,
time.
Ryan.
Well, he liked being in movies. He loved cameoing and shit.
It's that cocaine bit that throws your whole argument out the fucking window.
And
Yeah,
on top
see?
of that, Joe, how old do you think Stephen King was in 1984?
That's the kicker.
Probably about 35.
100 years old. Who cares?
Yeah,
Fuck
he
him.
was in his early 30s, man. He was in his early 30s. This is obviously a very old man.
Okay. Like I said, I do not recognize faces 100% of the time.
He disowned Kubrick's Shining. Who cares? Fuck him.
Yeah, anyway, Joe just stole another joke. He stole it
I
from
did
a
not
member of
steal a
Malevolent
joke. I
Movies.
thought it
I'm
was Stephen
taking you to
King.
court. Fuck him.
Yeah.
No. Absolutely not. So he interrupts the meeting to regale.
You don't make the rule.
I do make the rule. I am
No,
putting my foot down.
officer, absolutely not.
You will not be dragging me to jail.
Much like a tuba, Joe blows. Now come on.
Absolutely not.
Bring it back, baby.
I'm gonna fuck your mouth. You keep it up.
That's the worst one. Come on.
You just do the same thing again.
Well, I
it's
don't
just
know,
the
whatever.
same thing.
I'm gonna bleep out the word tuba. I'm gonna keep fucking mouth, but I'm gonna bleep tuba.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, bleep tuba every time we say it.
I love that. Yeah.
They won't know what we're saying, yeah. So he interrupts the meeting to regale the other fuddy-duddies with tales of goat sex. He says he had a three-way with one of the councilmen, and they took turns on the goat's mouth and ass.
He's putting a little bit of stank on it.
No, that's
But not-
essentially
but not much.
what's
But
implied,
it is
yeah.
the bit. It is the bit. It turns into this whole thing. Yeah. I mean, he's not lying.
Uh-huh. So a vote is passed to ban the concert, but the town is informed that all rock and roll music has been banned now.
Confirmed.
The sheriff
The
demands...
infirmary was opened.
Okay, hold on, Joe. I actually want to touch on that point.
Okay.
So, I'm not quite sure why they included this. Is it for the sake of comedy, or was it an actual point they were trying to make
Funny?
that they actually all enjoy secretly listening to hard rock and metal, but they don't want anybody else to know that. So the idea of it being banned completely is like, well, that's a little too far. I just don't want my daughter going out with that penis boy.
Yeah, I love Holy Diver.
I think that's probably. I mean, honestly, now that what we know about the movies, I think all of these council scenes were all added after the fact to pad and make this into a feature.
Sure.
But I think they are talking about the fact that the hypocrisy of people and Americans at that time were like, ban all this stuff, and they probably deep down,
Yeah.
Get rid of marijuana, and they're getting high in the backyard. That sort of hypocrisy. So I think that's intentional.
So the sheriff demands that the rest of the town bring in their dirty tapes so that the sin music can never be heard again in town. Jesse is strumming his guitar while a tarantula crawls up him. He gives it a good smash.
Bass, Joe. That is
bass?
a bass.
Okay,
Oh,
I don't know
Joe
instruments. I don't know. He gives it a good smash, but the spider comes back to life. He hammers it, and the spider comes back to life again, and he figures that the song is what's causing it.
Oh my god.
Werewolf Grandma is shrieking in the attic, while Elsa jumps in the shower.
Shrieking?
Yeah, she shrieks.
Or
She
howling?
does.
Well, whatever. A mixture of shrieking, howling, gasping for air, playing the tuba.
Like
lots
Annie
of stuff.
Buckley trying to sleep.
Okay, Joe.
What, too many tuba references? You wanted them.
I wanted like 4 or 5 good ones and
We've
placed
gotten 2.
strategically. Yeah.
3 including Ryan's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you're just like Fast and Furious sequels, Joe. You're just throwing them out as
Too
fast as you
much.
can get them.
Okay, I understand.
Tuba 7 by Joe.
Yeah,
Also, how
yeah.
come Jurassic World wasn't called Jurassic's World?
Oh, right, because we didn't write it.
Bleh.
Yeah. So Elsa jumps in the shower.
Boo.
There's about a minute of footage where she lathers up her hips,
Fucking
tits,
Howdy
and
Doody
tits.
Buckley.
No. Yeah, Chuck joins her in the shower to help her with her back. And says this is just like a movie.
But I will say, Joe, at this point in the movie, and they did this, is they reenact the Psycho murder.
Yes.
And they actually tried to make it identical with the shots, which
Very similar,
for
yeah.
this fucking movie, that kind of effort,
That's
I was
effort.
blown away by it.
They do the thing where he drags the curtain down with him, he slumps in the tub, yeah.
On the documentary, they do a side-by-side of Psycho and the shot, and by God, they're damn close.
Yeah. Not
It's
quite Gus
nuts.
Van Sant, but they're trying.
Well, not quite the Simpsons episode either, where Maggie hits Homer over the head with the drill. And he knocks a red paint can over, and
He says, dough.
No, he doesn't. They do
Can I have a donut, Marge?
What's a donut?
Yeah.
Remember that one?
I do. I treat her as a whore. Yeah. Change the channel, Marge. That's our homie.
We're bored.
Okay.
Isn't yours supposed to fly by because you don't care? Come on.
I'm going. I am doing my synopsis. So Chuck joins her in the shower and says she says it's like psycho and stabs him to death while her creepy cousin takes pictures. The town destroys their vinyls, making many a hipster cringe in real life.
Oh boy.
The grandmother invites 2 of the band members up in the attic, and
Joe's
then
war on
wolves out on them.
hipsters continues.
Joe,
She
you know so little about what's going on in the fucking world of art and entertainment and pop culture in this country.
Vinyls
you honestly
are
think that
huge
vinyl
again.
in 2022 is strictly a hipster thing? You think hipsters are still a thing?
No, they love them. They love vinyl.
You
They're
can
back
buy
in
vinyl
Walmart
records
now.
at Target.
I know, that's why
A lot of people
they
love
them.
vinyl. It's humongous, man.
You know who shops at Target?
Hipsters?
Not fucking hipsters.
No.
They like the red ball outside. They love it. They like to crawl on it like ants.
Oh boy, this is crashing and burning.
What are you doing?
What? Why?
I hope
what?
we reduce Joe to a point where he's just saying, tuba? Tuba, anyone? He's just crying.
Tuba.
You guys remember tuba?
tuba.
We had so many good times.
He basically turns into to Groot, except he all he says tuba.
So she stabs Bobby to death while Tommy freaks out at all the bodies and bones scattered about. He valiantly tries to fight off the grandmother, but falls out the window and makes a splat sound.
Oh, Joe, this is shameful, man.
What?
Are you not going to point out the stunt double?
Oh, this is so great. Yeah, the stunt, which again, context is because it's in the documentary. The stunt double is one of the makeup effects a guy who went on to do tons of major stuff, and he was on the set that day. And the other actor either wasn't there or they didn't want to do it, and they asked him, they're like, "Well, do you want to fucking do the stunts?" He's like, "All right." And so yeah, it looks nuts.
I'm just confused.
That's the kind of movie it was. They were just like, "Well, no one will care. Just do it," and he did it.
Yeah, there's some bits in here where it's like they're like being safe about stuff. Because I'm assuming that maybe they were using real blades because there's a lot of stabbing of a mattress and stuff. But they used a wide angle lens with long takes, so you clearly see it's not Tommy the actor in the wig. Ugh.
At all. Yeah, at all.
So it's like, I mean, hey, kudos for, I guess, maybe trying to be safe and take the actor out of the scenario, but holy hell.
The makeup guy said the stunt coordinator comes up to him and says, "Hey, you want to do the stunts?" And because when he goes out the window, it's the makeup guy too, and he's like, "Well, will you pay me more?" And he's like, I don't know if they gave him like $50 extra or something, but he's like, "I guess."
You jump out the window now.
He was in the documentary talking. He's like, "Yeah, it's a dumb thing to do, but I was young. I figured, yeah, why not? Extra $50, whatever. I'll jump out the window."
Sure.
So Casey's father decides to go confront the band with a gun, and Casey runs off to try to warn them.
Is this when Ron gets knocked out?
So Cassie's dad runs into the town, smashing all the rock and roll records, and he blasts his shotgun in the air to get their attention. Like, "Hey, let's stop smashing records and let's start blasting some band members." And Cassie's in there, and she's like, "No! You're gonna go kill Jesse." Hard cut to Elsa jazzercising in the desert for some reason. Cut to Jesse continuing to boom, 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 play bass to his reanimated spider. Hard cut back to the desert where Claire is still getting her jazzercise on. And then Cassie leaves her dad to warn Jesse that the mob is coming for him to kill him. Cut to more dancing in the desert. Why? I don't know. Baldy McNazi has traded in his axe for a weed whacker, and he's pissed. He gives chase to Jesse and Cassie. They go through the woods a la Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's lots of POV, but actual POV, not that bullshit that people on TikTok are saying is POV, but it's not actual POV. I don't want to get into that. So we give chase from Baldy's perspective. You see the weed whacker in the shot, like we're at the end of a weapons list in Left 4 Dead or something. And everything's very, very dark, by the way. It's hard to see any of this. It's and it goes from light to dark, back to light. And they ran out of real estate, and then Cassie and Jesse fall down a hill that they didn't see because it's pitch black in the shot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very purple. It's disgustingly purple.
Hey, actually, do we have an understanding of what this was like shot on? Because there are some shots in this movie that, even with decent lighting, are really bad.
I think that footage might have all got cut out of the movie. It looks like low-grade footage that got spliced back into the master.
Okay.
Some of the stuff there is the version that you guys watched.
It looks like there's 16 shoved in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's the version you guys probably were streaming, and the version that's on the Blu-ray is a slightly restored version, if you will. But they using elements that they had. So most of it's using the actual, I think it was 16 millimeter, the actual 16 millimeter film. But there are some shots that are only existing on video. So they would put those in there too. There's a bunch with the head later on. And so there you see a major difference in those shots. But I think in general, they were just shooting quick and dirty and cheap.
It's not far from being like a higher quality looking VHS movie or something. There's something about it where it's like the budget wasn't really there. But hey, I mean, they shot it.
So Cassie and Jesse are at the bottom of this hill. It's really hard to see. And Jesse says, you know what, we better split up because it's me, Baldy McNazi, is after. So he gives Cassie a black cassette tape to play if he ends up getting murdered. So he's like, here, take this. So somehow Jesse has run long enough that it's no longer nighttime. It's turned into the morning. But instead of running away from the house of murderous ghouls, he runs right back to the outside, the spooky house where Baldy McNazi is ready for him. And he throws a knife that goes right through Jesse's hand, pinning him to a tree. Meanwhile, more dancing in the desert. Cut back to Nazi McBaldy with Rambo pinpoint precision, throws another knife right through Jesse's other hand, completely pinning him to a tree. Absolutely helpless. Hard cut. More dancing in the desert, is it? Jazzercise. Yes, Ryan.
Hold on just a second. I was doing some cursory research on the cinematographer. He went on to a major Hollywood career, including doing some camera work, additional photography, additional camera operator on Inland Empire, Joe.
Oh my
Well,
word.
you know what? He did an amazing job on Inland Empire, so there's a lot of growth.
With David Lynch. He also did Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. A lot of mainstream Hollywood movies.
Wow.
House of a Thousand Corpses.
Look at
So
that.
he
Mainstream
but this was
and
early work.
artsy-fartsy shit like Lynch.
Yeah.
Look at that, Joe.
Oh,
See,
yeah. Shopping Mall, Hard Bodies
there's
2.
a place for everything.
Yeah.
So he started out in the low-budget world, but then ended up shoulder to shoulder with Mr. David Lynch.
With David Lynch, yeah,
Wow.
good.
With giants.
Yeah.
He made Hard Rock fucking Zombies. He's on my crew.
Well, you know what? He did a very good job in Inland Empire.
You don't even know what he did.
You don't even
On
know which
camera.
shots were his. It's additional
Camera.
photography.
Man, do camera.
Okay.
Person, woman, camera. Joe. We're going to move this episode into the 10 items or less lane. We're going to do it. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. So Baldy McNazi fires up the weed whip. Quick. Is it a weed whip or a weed whacker?
That's
Cool.
whacker.
Yeah, it whacks.
Weed whacker.
Whacking
them
up.
fuckers.
Whacking. All right, we're whacking. All right, weed
yeah.
whacker's fired up. It gores Jesse in the
orange whip.
chest, spraying blood everywhere. But thankfully, he spares Jesse's beautiful mustachioed face so he can grace undead album covers of the future.
Yeah.
Jesse is dead. Next scene. We had a quick montage. It's all weird French angles of all the murdered band members while evil maniacal laughter cackles over a Casio keyboard soundtrack. The murder ghoul family takes a selfie while Thing from Adam's family is still trapped in a jar. Hey. Next scene. All is calm. Ron, the band manager, is sitting down to a lovely family dinner with our House of Freaks. Grandma says funerals were, quote, nice. Loves multiple funerals. They make her feel real cozy. Apparently, although murderous and evil, they are very reverent and respectful of the dead. So they had nice funerals. Ron is obviously upset. Those were my friends, right? But why is Ron still there? Apparently, Grandma makes a mean meatloaf and you're hungry, I guess. We get this scene. It's like Tyler alluded to earlier, very reminiscent of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because you got this whole family full of ghouls around a nice table. It's all dressed up. There's mashed potatoes, and Ron's sitting there like, what do I do? What do I do? He's the new guest at the table. Whole family's there. You got Goopy, Zombie Boy, Bucky, the town sheriff, who I kind of think he was very much like, what's his face from Christmas Vacation? He's the sheriff in The Wraith. Randy Quaid.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
He's very much like Randy Quaid in The Wraith, the sheriff. We find out
Save
that
the neck for me, Clark.
we find out
Shit is full.
Of course, Joe,
sheeter?
of course.
How many E's are in shitter?
Well, I wanted
Shitter's
to bring
full.
back up the shitter.
there's a kid out there using his car to kill people. Not that I care, because it's your, you know what I'm
Love
talking
the
about.
Wraith. Love the Wraith.
Yeah. All right. So we find out the sheriff was in the family's pocket the entire time. Phil Fondacaro's there. It's a good time. Grandpa goes on some random German rant. You can't understand anything he's saying. Really saying they should ban all music. Go full Footloose. Grandpa then offers Ron a job because, his band is murdered and he's unemployed now. When all of a sudden, a red alarm flashes on the dinner table, and Grandpa starts freaking out. Oh boy, I waited 14 years for this. And he rips off his face, and turns out Grandpa is actually Hitler. Oh yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now,
yeah. Big
now,
twist.
fans, we saw this man shirtless earlier. I'll just leave it there, I guess. He's got the full body suit going. Get the full Hitler suit.
Well, he's like a nutty professor.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's the thing I was missing, is that he's a nutty professor. Now it makes sense.
Apparently, Hitler faked his own death. He's been in hiding all these years in rural Southern California. Screw dinner. It is time to take over the world. Cut to, they've been ready for this moment their entire lives. TV camera, monitors, satellite. Hitler is ready to make his first public address in 40 years, flanked by red Nazi swastika flags at his podium. He gives a loud speech that is completely unintelligible. It goes on for a while. Then the only thing you can understand is, today, California. Tomorrow, the world. Next scene. Cassie is visiting Jesse's grave, which has fresh flowers on it, because I said this family, although murderous, very reverent and respectful of the dead, they'll kill you, but they'll give you a proper burial. And she reveals that her dad never cried when her mom died, but now she's crying for this creepy, weird pedo perv that she just met. And she swears on his ring that she will never stop crying for him. And she plays the cassette that he gave her on a portable boombox. Somehow, note, Jesse was able to create a fully produced full band track with that spider in the attic just hours earlier. But hey, man, that's that Paul Sabu magic for you, baby.
Paul Sabu.
So Cassie plays the weird pedo mumbo jumbo music, and Jesse's pale hand rises from the dirt. He's alive. Or is he? All four now zombie band members rise from their dirt plots as the incantation song continues, and they all start zombie walking. But there's zombie walk.
Yeah.
Looks
Dude,
like
I
they're
love
trying
the zombie walk.
Looks like they're trying to teach somebody how to cross country ski.
We represent the lollipop girl, the lollipop girl. That's all I could think about. Their weird little herky jerky arms and
The elbows are bent at 90 degrees. They're kind of going back and forth.
Yeah.
It's almost like Chris Farley's motivational speaker when he's trying to get on the motivational track.
Yeah, they're doing Matt Foley. They're doing the little munchkins. It's kind of like a robot walk.
It's weird. It's weird, and I
It doesn't
don't
make
like
sense,
it, but I do like it. You know
but
what I
it
mean?
also
It's just-
kind of works because
it
it's
works
a
in this
weird-
movie. Yeah, it works in this movie. At this point, if you're still with Hard Rock Zombies at this point, you're going to be with it all the way through. That little walking and the fact that the makeup is just basically,
Kiss.
it's not even Kiss. It's like the
It's
guys
like
that joined
Kmart
Kiss after Peter Criss left. It's like when the other guys, the second string guys came in and they got face makeup. It's just in the documentary, the band members talk about that. They're like, yeah, we don't know why we didn't have like zombie makeup. He's like, they're like, all the fucking other zombies in the movie look like zombies, but they made us look like Kiss. I don't know. Nobody understood
The
why.
rock and roll band.
In the
They didn't even
documentary,
know. They're like, whatever.
did they go into why they do this weird herky jerky walk. Was that the director, or was
That
that
was
a choice?
I believe they say that's the director telling him to do that. And they were, like I said, they were a bunch of guys just making extra money in between gigs as band, as musicians. So they're like, okay, fine. I mean,
you said this was supposed to be a movie in a movie. Like, hey, do this weird thing.
Okay.
Like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, they seriously, it's fantastic to get to hear it from these guys, now in their middle age, and they're like, we don't fucking know either. We don't know any more than the people watching why things happen.
Meanwhile, hey guys, remember when Hitler is back?
Yeah, Hitler's in this movie.
Hitler's in this movie now.
Is this the first Nazi movie we've done?
I think there was some Nazi stuff in a couple other ones. I can't remember.
Wasn't it in Devil's Story?
Yeah, Devil's Story.
Oh God, are we doing all? Was this our Nazi summer?
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a hot Reich summer.
Oh,
holy shit! Oh my God. This took a turn. All right, so Hitler takes Ron and Baldy McNazi to a cave in the mountains, which he has proudly converted into a gas chamber, which he calls his, quote, cleansing place. He's got all the gases. Yellow gas. Yep, blue gas. It turns your innards into piss and pus and piss and pus and piss and pus. Yeah, we got that too. Hitler's really excited about this. He's got a big plan. The thing is, Ron, our band manager, he doesn't seem too jazzed up for his up-and-coming career opportunity in the new genocide. So Hitler gets a little butthurt about this, and he tells them, "You're polluted blood, and he will be the first to be eliminated." And we cut to Baldy McNazi. He's got Ron tied to a table. He's got a rag in his mouth, and Baldy is about to take an axe to Ron's face, but somehow deems that the axe is too dull to do the job, and he leaves the frame saying, "I'll be back."
Yeah. And then we see just like the most absurd montage of the band doing all kinds of things. I didn't really know how to like summarize this. It's like an extended music video, and we see shots of them like fucking around when they were alive earlier in the movie. We see a long tracking shot of their graves. And we also see that everyone came to their joint funeral. There's shots of them doing their weird zombie walk down a street lined with palm trees. There's it's intercut with what I can assume is the same piece of footage that they got for the very opening, that like the camera's on the front of the car and they're just cruising down the PCH, maybe. I don't know. It looks like the beginning of Death Proof. Then we see them. Jesse finally arrives and fights Baldy McNazi or whatever we've been calling him. But during that, we see flashbacks of him killing Jesse, which just happened.
We're filling time.
We really are. And then he eventually stabs, Jesse stabs bald Nazi guy in the throat and like pins him to the back of the, like the shed, wherever they are, this like carport or whatever they're in. Then a few more of them. And also this is all unbroken music. It's one music track over all this. And now we're upstairs with the werewolf grandma. Two of them kill the werewolf grandma. We see where she threw what's-his-face out the window earlier. We see some skeletons. Werewolf grandma is just kind of up there. And they stab her.
This is a real movie. This is a real movie. We're not making this shit up.
And like... Then they just like zombie walk out and they do a slow high five, and then we cut to somebody else, another zombie is chasing Mickey and Bucky, and the fucking photographer Jimmy Olsen looking ass is taking pictures, and then he's getting killed, and then
Trevor's exhaustion is a very literal representation of how I felt watching this. Like, I was losing hard focus.
Like, this is going through so many plot points.
Yeah. And like, it's not that there aren't things happening. There's a lot happening, but this is like, when you have so much, it's like, what's the point of any of it? And so like, spoiler alert, I was originally going to vote Malevolent I was anticipating rage from everyone, so I was going to eventually argue to abstain. But knowing how this was made, it completely changes my perspective on this whole thing. So it's almost a triumph of cinema that this was accomplished. But I'm just exhausted hearing Trevor talk about it.
Oh, yeah, because there's just so much.
Yeah, and I feel like that is the worst part of this movie is happening right now.
And I will say this, almost more so than any other Malevolent movie. Let me get closer to the microphone here. Hold on a minute. This is a movie that we really can't. This has to be seen and experienced. Like, this is one of those things that just telling you what happens is exhausting.
Yeah,
it's because there's just so much. This is something that you have to just watch, and
because like I can say that the next thing that happens is they all do their weird robo herky jerky dance at Hitler, and they like surround him slowly, and then they all touch his head. But it doesn't do it justice. You don't get it. Like you don't fucking get it. Okay, you'd have to watch this.
Yeah, and it's available everywhere, so you should be able to find it. It's like on every streaming platform.
This movie oscillates between malevolent and benevolent so fucking fast.
Speaking of messing up the how we say the name of our show and rating,
yeah, whatever it is,
there has been a huge increase of this over the last 5 episodes.
Yeah,
it's impossible for anyone to say malevolent or benevolent. Yeah. Is there a gas leak? What's happening with us?
Yeah, I was cleaning the cat box.
I'd piss and pus.
we have 7 independent gas leaks.
Well, I breathed in, what is it, when you clean a cat box and you get a little bit of that
ammonia.
Dude,
yeah. I'm cooking in that. Yeah,
I fucking got a mouthful of that shit last night when I was cleaning out the cat box, and my lungs hurt for like 2 hours. I thought this was the end.
But then when you woke up this morning, you craved it. You craved the taste. Right. You went back to that cat box.
You got a little bit of that toxoplasmosis.
I'm huffing cat boxes. Right. I'm going to neighbors. I'm knocking on doors. Got a dirty cat box. Got a dirty cat box.
I'll clean it. I'll clean it for you.
God, a good a good tip to combat that is dig up one of the masks you may or may not be still wearing.
Oh, and
pop that fucker on when you clean the box. I did that and it changed it entirely because now I don't feel like I'm gonna die when I clean their fucking box out.
I mean, I got it. It hurt the lungs. It felt like real gas.
Yeah,
I was like, oh shit. You hear those stories about somebody, or I felt like I was gonna be in Death to Metal because I thought, okay, I'm going to turn into the fucking monster now because I got some weird gas inhalation.
That's right. So they kill a bunch of people. I mean, a bunch of shit happens, and eventually it stops. And Ron runs into I don't know, the Ag Hall, City Hall, wherever the fuck all the council meets. I don't know how else to describe him other than a caricature of a Jewish Merlin, then tells them that Hitler and Eva Braun are trying to create new identities but are creating ghouls instead. I don't know why he looks like the first man. Like he looks like
Gandalf, they call him.
He looks like Gandalf, but he's speaking like fucking like Billy Crystal doing a bit. He sounds like him in The Princess Bride. Basically, Hitler and Eva Braun are back. They're living up at the old Hitler house. I don't know, and they're trying to create new identities. They've been hiding out for 40 years. Somehow they are now creating ghouls. They also may be ghouls themselves. Evil begets evil. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go.
Kill the brain, and you kill the ghoul.
So basically, at the end of that scene is all of the townsfolk get to the farm so we can kill some more people in our movie. One of the guys arrives and sees dead Eva Braun on the steps and just starts grabbing her boobs. And then he stands up and looks like he's about to do something else, but she ghouls out. I don't know how else to say it. Turns it into a ghoul and she bites him and I assume kills him. Then Hitler wakes up as a ghoul too. Just walks up and like rips a guy's head off with no effort whatsoever. The band's back in their van and now they're all zombies and they're all sitting like robots in silence. And they turn the radio on and it's some music and they're all grunting and not really enjoying it.
It's like the whole Land of the Dead thing. You know what I mean? That's what they're used
Yeah.
to, sitting in their band playing with the radio. So that's what
Yeah, yeah. The
They're
old
still
life
in
still
there.
lives in there. Yeah,
Yeah, they still
This
want to go to
place-
the mall.
This place meant something to them.
That's
It was
right.
important to them.
And they eventually, one of them like hits the radio, and it turns out to like the theme from the movie, or from like it's like the beginning music from the very beginning of the movie, and they all kind of nod their head. And they do a very slow like low five, which I thought was very funny. Then we're back in the spooky house, and Stephen King spots a hand on the floor, and then he kneels down to get a closer look at it and sees it moving around, and then it jumps up at him and chokes him.
Okay. So, Dad, Cassie's daddy, finds Mr. Clean Zombie. He's up against the shed wall because he got, I don't know if it was a knife or some sort of pipe or something, but he was stabbed in the neck.
Yeah,
But he's stuck there. And so Dad walks up. He pockets the cigarettes from Mr. Clean, and he starts smoking them. And then Mr. Clean wakes up. He goes up to Dad and like rips a part of his neck out.
yeah.
I'm not quite sure what happened there, but Dad falls down. There's this weird shot, like a low angle shot of Dad. Like I was for a second there was worried that Mr. Clean was gonna clean his bingus hole because of that shot. It was like it was implying something, but then Mr.
Yeah.
Clean rips the thing out of his neck, and then we just cut away. And then we've got the sheriff and Ed, is he the mayor? One of the council members.
He's the mayor of Granguino.
Yeah. So the sheriff and Ed are together, and we hop into a shot. It's the sheriff driving. Ed's next to him. The sheriff says, "Did you fart, Ed?" And then we see undead Elsa in the back come up and bite the sheriff in the neck, and that's all we get there. And then we get undead Mickey and son of Quasimodo, who is now sporting some pretty fucking bizarre eyes. And this evolves over the rest of the movie. I'll let you guys handle that in your parts.
Oh, yeah, my favorite.
But then we just get a bunch of shots of the local undead walking and waking. And then we cut to the music venue where Cassie finds the band. They are all undead, and they're getting their equipment ready to rock. It's dark. It's spooky. No one's talking. And then she just decides to take a seat. And then we get a schmoozy record executive who comes in, and he just takes a seat. And he has some kind of like mobile desk in a briefcase or something, because he's got a phone, stationery, a coffee, pills, and a framed picture of a well-endowed model, a man, not a woman. And he's on the phone talking some like biz bullshit. And like, you know, he was like making some snarky comments at the band, but then he's like, "Wait a minute, you guys look great up there. You guys look look, hold on, I gotta get off the phone because the band looks great." And then we cut to...
It's like a dime store Joe Pesci kind of.
Oh, you nailed it. He's a little stretched out, but you're right. And I did like this guy. He doesn't have a huge part in the movie, but he's got a lot of energy. I did enjoy him.
And what's something that we forgot to touch on is the reason, one of the big reasons they're going to this town, I don't know why it was in this town, is they're doing a showcase for this guy. And that was a big thing at the beginning of the movie is they're going there specifically because they're going to put on a showcase for this guy who's like the hot record exec in Hollywood.
He's impressed. And then the band starts to play, and we get basically another music video. This is again another weird situation where it's the song about Cassie and, you know, are we in love, you know, and that. But like we're getting shots of them like when they were getting electrocuted, flashbacks of shit. And then like Cassie's watching, and then I wrote a whole bit here. I don't know if I want to even go through it. It's just a Predators ballad. Maybe if the band looked younger, or Jesse in particular, because Jesse he looks like he's been 30 since he was 15.
He does. And in reality, he's, believe it or not, he's only like 21.
Damn.
Or something like that.
That was
something. He's very young at that time.
It's the stash.
It's the stash.
It's the stash.
It adds like 40 years.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan shared
thick.
Ryan shared the pictures of them, like now, or at least when that documentary was made, and he looks pretty good. Like all things considered.
I went to his Instagram because I got in once I found out he actually had a band with that Gene Simmons was involved with, and he had some he had some success, and I wasn't familiar at all with his band, so I kind of looked into him a little more. Went to his Instagram. Dude looks great. He's got a beautiful wife. I mean, Hard Rock Zombies is just a little bump, just a little tiny part of his life. But man, he's lived a hell of a life, and he looks great.
EJ Curse, baby.
Yeah. He's and in the documentary, he's like incredibly likable.
Anyways, we get a song about Jesse's love and/or attraction to this young woman, the young lady, young girl.
I want to take you to school, babe.
Does he say that in the song?
No, I don't.
Oh God,
I wouldn't have put it past him. There is a part where he does mention
I'll
like,
drop you off on your field trip.
Gonna buy you a Tamagotchi.
Sure.
you don't need no parental slip signed.
That's right.
he does mention in the song something about being thankful that they waited. So I don't know if the implication
you
here
were,
is
what,
that they
15?
I will say that.
Jeez,
I will
quite
say
laughed at that.
sketchy lyrical content aside, melodically, I think it's an earworm for me, man, as a hair metal ballad, similar to "Don't Close Your Eyes" from Dead Ant.
Hey, man. Paul Sabu, baby.
That Paul Sabu, they talk a lot about him in the documentary. I never really knew anything about him before, but they all talk a lot about him.
He did all the music. 14 platinum and 11 gold records produced for Alice Cooper, David Bowie, Quiet Riot, Wasp. Other film music credits include Ghoulies 2 and Baywatch.
I love the tight Ghoulies 2 connection. We got him, Phil Fondacaro, John Carl Buechler doing some of the effects, who, of course, did all the Ghoulies and shit. Directed Friday the 13th Part 7. It's funny, these weird little grimy little low-budget pieces of shit that come out of nowhere, they end up having like these tendrils of incredibly successful, talented people. It's a consistent theme, and it just blows my mind.
A quick side note, I found Paul Sabu on LinkedIn, and I reached out to him today.
You did?
I did. And I tried to link to him. I don't really do LinkedIn really. So I was like, hey man, I'm like, you don't know me, but like, I'm on a podcast. We're talking about Hard Rock Zombies, and your music really just amped up the production, and I'd like to talk to you about it. So hit me up.
Hell yes.
So I don't know. We'll see. And
oh my God.
I have a guitar in my profile picture. So maybe he's like, oh, this is a musician trying to connect, because he's still like, he still outsources and like produces for other people and writes for other people. So fingers crossed.
Oh, I hope that happens.
Oh,
and
man,
then I hope
great.
Paul Sabu didn't write the lyrics. Did he write the lyrics to this, Cassie?
No, I assume so.
Like Paul Sabu,
but he was writing through the eyes of the character of Jesse, not himself.
That's true. That is true. He's got to write.
It was an assignment.
The script.
Yeah, that's the name of the song, "Through the Eyes of a Predator."
Cassie.
But anyway,
Hard Rock
so
Zombies.
yeah, there's a couple in the woods. I don't know if they've banged or they're gonna bang, but there's talking about banging. She's saying, "Was that your first time?" He's like, "Well, it was like my first time. It was like my first." She's like, "No, I don't." And then she starts saying, "If I ever saw you with another woman," this couple we've never seen before, and they start to kiss. So it looks like they're gonna get back into the mix. But all of a sudden, they see little zombie Mickey. He's peeping around. He's taking a peek at the section. The man freaks out. They both freak out, actually. And the man goes after Mickey because Mickey runs away. She's like, "You go find out about Mickey." He leaves. Within moments, you hear a scream, and then a head comes rolling toward the woman. The man's name is Arnold, by the way. She picks up his head, and it's fucking Arnold. But she doesn't either understand that he's dead, because she just starts talking to his head, saying, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" Talking to his fucking head. Then Mickey comes forward, arguing, doing his thing, his zombie bit. He grabs Arnold's head, and he throws it into a nearby car. Then he chases the woman, and there's this physical comedy bit and this little funny music. It's not what's that? The British guy who'd run
Yakety
around.
Sax.
Benny Hill. It's not quite Benny. It's not Benny Hill music, but it's a Benny Hill.
It's close. Yeah.
It's that
a Benny
kind
Hill
of
type.
vibe. Yeah, it's that kind of comedy. She's running. It's fun. Then we cut to Bucky. He's kind of alone in a room. He's sitting there. He's got a little thing of mustard in front of him, and he's now a zombie as well. It's harder to tell. His eyes are weirder. That's how you know he's a zombie. Otherwise, because he was already looking like shit. But he's a zombie now. And he starts spreading some mustard on his hand and begins eating his own hand. Cut to the townsfolk. They're kind of hunkered down into a bunker of sorts, and they're trying to talk about how to kill a zombie. Do we stab it with a stake? No, that's vampires. And there's just one nerd. He's kind of the leader, and he's reading through some sort of book, and he finds out through this book that ghouls hate heads. They don't eat heads. They don't like heads. They're anti-intellectual. Something about the brain power turns into putrid poison. I don't know, but they don't like heads.
Okay.
Cut back to Bucky. He's eating himself still. And it's an incredibly pleasant scene. The music's playing. He's just kind of eating himself. You know, if that was like a screensaver for a couple of hours, I'd put that on in the background. There was something weirdly, oddly pleasant about it.
It's like a weird ASMR.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we cut back to the band who's continuing their showcase for Don Mattson. That's the A&R guy, the record exec,
right.
and he loves it. He's going crazy. Oh, I fucking love this. Cut to Ron. He's in the stairwell. He's coming down to the bunker, but he sees some zombies. So he starts acting like a zombie, kind of like Shaun of the Dead would do 20-some years later. He's pretending to be a zombie, and it works until a custodian comes in and gets it and fucks everything up. The zombies start eating the custodian. That makes Ron freak out. They realize Ron's not a zombie. He has to bang in the door of the bunker, and the townsfolk eventually let him in. Cut back to Bucky. Now he's eating his own legs. He's spread out. He's eating his own legs. Again, pleasant. Love it. Good music. Cut to a mother and daughter just unloading groceries, but you notice their car looks just like the car that Arnold's head had been thrown into. As the family is unloading the groceries, they find it's a mom and a daughter. They realize that there's a fucking head. It is Arnold's head. It was that car. It's in one of the grocery bags. They drop it. They're like, ooh, what is that? All of a sudden, the girlfriend from earlier that was about to get the dub dip in the
In the woods
area,
Yeah.
in the woods, shows up, and she wants to claim the head, and she also wants to use the phone of the lady inside. The lady says, "No, you're not bringing that head in here. It's dripping. It's wet. It's weird. No." And she's like, "All right, well, Arnold, I'll leave Arnold out here again."
It's French. It's
like
weird. It's gory.
It's French. It's weird, and it's gory.
See, you still got it in you.
Yeah.
If it was a few octaves, it was a few octaves lower. It'd have been in my range, but it wasn't in my
It's too
range.
big, baby.
So anyway, they decide to leave Arnold's head outside. The daughter will watch it. The little girl will watch it. So they go inside to use the phone. The little girl
Watch
picks up
that.
Arnold's head, fucking throws it. She laughs, fucking throws the
that.
head as hard as she can. Cut to Bucky. His legs are pretty much gone at this point. He has devoured his own legs. He's going to be going to the pee-pee. The pee-pee and the balls. I mean,
What's he gonna say,
logically,
Joe?
Huh?
Huh?
I
What would he say?
can imagine what he might say. He might say something a little bit like
oh
this.
no, my genitals.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Owie, wowie, my balls and cock.
Damn you to hell, Joe.
I
Bucky
just
has
wanted
no
to see what
legs.
he would
Bucky
do.
has no legs.
Yeah.
Cut to the townsfolk. They've decided in their infinite wisdom, understanding that ghouls don't like heads. They've basically found posters and random shit around themselves to make big heads. They've got like a big Jimi Hendrix head, not like masks, but like a poster, and you would just
The weirdest
Poster board
logic ever. Yeah,
It
Marilyn
is
Monroe.
really strange. Yeah.
With Jimi Hendrix.
John
is
Lennon, Elvis is there,
yeah.
I think.
Yep. All rock and roll. What's interesting, though, the one thing is it's all controversial musicians, at least controversial if you live in a town like Rangoon. And that's what's going to save them is pictures of these bad rock stars because ghouls don't like heads. And the nerd guy's like, well, I'm going to stay back and, make sure that the fort is held. He doesn't go out with the townsfolk. Cut to the showcase. The band is still playing. Don Mattson is getting more and more excited. He gets on the phone. He calls one of his guys. He says, I want you to drop 4 contracts. And then there's some joke bit about, I won't bail you out of jail. I don't know. Like the guy's in jail. I don't know. It is anything goes at this point with HRZ. As the zombies wander the streets, the real zombies, the legit zombies, the monster zombies, the townsfolk with their big head disguises try to get by them. But the ruse is found out and they are all eaten. And while this goes on, Elsa's just dancing. Elsa's who's all zombie now. She's just dancing. So we're seeing Elsa doing her zombie dance. We're seeing the townsfolk being eaten by zombies. And it's fairly violent and gruesome. It's not necessarily played for laughs. Cut to an indiscriminate amount of time later. And we're back in the bunker.
Hey.
Where the nerdy leader walks in and he sees all the townsfolk with the big heads. And he's like, wow, this worked. This is cool. I'm glad I told you it would. Well, turns out, no, it's the zombies. It's the zombies hiding behind all those, and they start eating the nerd, and the nerd's final words are, "Don't believe everything you read." Because the ghoul heads. And now, Joe Buckley, take it away.
Oh. So Zombie Elsa is dancing and gyrating with the band, but she keeps getting awfully close to their privates. Don, the manager, is ecstatic at the new Kiss tribute band he's found. The rest of the Nazi zombies storm the stage, but they're just looking to mosh it up a little. The zombies chase Cassie away, but the zombie band doesn't seem to notice. One of the old townies figures if they tie a virgin to a tree, that's how he says it,
Yeah.
the ghouls will get so tuckered out they'll rest for 100 years. They look around the room for a virgin, and the old hag says not to look at her. Casey wanders through the severed head-covered street and picks one up, and a townie admonishes her for trying to get with her man.
Joe, if the Malevolent Movies gang found themselves in one of the many movies we watch, and it called upon a virgin to save the group, would you take the heat for us?
I mean, does Fleshlight count? Or no?
No.
Nope.
If the zombies demanded a virgin sacrifice, would you take one for the Malevolent Movies team?
I mean, I guess if it's quick, sure.
And
I'll take a quick
knowing
death.
that we will bully you the whole way you die.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The zombies ate his penis!
I was going to say, like, how are they going
And the zombie didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so tiny, it was like a Tic Tac in his mouth.
The zombie was surprised with that one bite that he got the wiener and the balls and the gooch all at the same time.
Yeah, the whole thing.
The zombie was disappointed. He's like, that wasn't much.
That's it?
I lifted up all that belly to get to that.
It's just bread.
I guess my sacrifice wasn't
Don't
in
fill up
vain
on
for my
belly.
friends.
You kept us alive so we could tell your tale.
Okay.
So we can tell your story, Joe.
Yes.
When Joe Buckley, I stand here before you today with a wife and kids. I'm going to be an old man like the guy at the end of Saving Private Ryan. I'm standing at your grave, and I'm just like, a tear rolls down my face, and I remember that zombie chomping on your pink sock. Because of that, I live.
It's a beautiful moment, except the camera pans down and you're pissing.
partly on purpose and partly because I can't help it. But either way, it's going on his stone.
Yeah. Can you guys also leave out the part where I'm dropping mud in my trousers in fear as I'm sacrificing myself to save you?
Yeah.
The eulogy will be mostly about how much we care about you.
Okay.
The fear mud would just be
Publicly,
piling
we will be
inside
very,
Yes,
very
publicly.
diet mud.
Yes.
And then we'll do a 21 tuba salute for you.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's nice. That would be nice. Yeah. So Cassie goes to the other villagers for help, but they decide they found their virgin sacrifice. Don is very upset that he can't get zombies to sign a contract. Then he gets attacked by the others. Bucky is still eating himself, and he's down to the upper chest. Ron tries to beg Don to sign the band, and then admits that they're dead. He doesn't notice that Don is coming after him for a late-night bite, and he has a breakthrough that money means nothing and life is the only thing worth saving. The studio mogul finally tries to bite Ron, but he misses and gets told that he sucks.
Take us home, Sean.
From all this chaos, we go to a calming shot of a sliver of moon with crickets chirping. Meanwhile, the band has crawled back into their fresh dirt beds, but for good. Cut to Cassie getting dragged to the top of a desolate hill to get sacrificed by the townspeople. And this is actually a Macabre Nights trademark. We do love our sacrifices in Macabre Nights. So
Sure
you
do.
Gotta put them out there.
That's
Gotta
right, baby.
Gotta satisfy the ghouls' bloodlust for virgins. They also brought a goat, just in case virgin thing didn't work. I guess we cut to
Yeah,
Ron.
it's kind of like store-bought, you know? Like, it's fine.
And bring them along.
It'll do.
Just in case. You never know when you need a goat for a sacrifice. I mean, look at Grace's room, right? That worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Ron he's at the band's grave and he's pleading with them, please come back. They're gonna sacrifice Cassie to the ghouls and rape her, and I can't do this on my own. And he presents Cassie's ring, and zombie Jesse immediately emerges like the Undertaker from his grave, and the rest of the band follows, and they're gonna do one last show.
Fuck yeah, brother.
Woo! Cut to Cassie screaming her head off, tied to a tree as the zombie brood starts to close in. The zombies smell that fresh virgin blood and they start to get a little horny and they start kind of dancing all crazy and get a little bit more expressive. And just when you think Cassie is a goner, that's when the music kicks on. We cut to our zombie heroes who have somehow been able to, in the past minute and a half, assemble and find all their equipment, set it all up, haul a generator up to the top of a mountain, where they start jamming out their final incantation song. And it's working. The zombies are leaving Cassie and they're heading towards the music. Except there's one more zombie and it's approaching Cassie. Oh, it's a goof. It's just Ron in a cheap Halloween mask. Classic Ron.
Fooled you again.
He helps Cassie escape and they run away while the band continues to bring rock to the Red Rocks. The zombies, they've gone, our hard rock heroes have gone wireless at this point. But they still sound great. It's amazing. And they start Pied Pipering the horde of ghouls into Hitler's cave. While all the monsters are there that we've seen throughout the entire movie. Wolf Mom, Zombie Hitler, Mickey, Girlfriend and Head, they're all there. And then Ron and Cassie go hit the gas, the yellow gas, the blue gas, all the gases, and then it is just a full-on gas chamber party. All the monsters start convulsing and puking and pussing and pissing and imploding and shrieking and bleeding all over the place. And we get kind of like a Evil Dead type shot, POV going through this horde of crazy creatures that we met through this entire film, weaving in and out of them as they're all dying in their own unique ways. Meanwhile, the band is also in there and they're affected by the gas, but not in the same way as all the other monsters. They're just kind of like turn into like statues. They just kind of pose like, and may I say, I think it's actually like the cutout that they use as the background of their shows. Yeah, all lined up, leaning on each other with the guitars. And for some reason, Elsa decides to die on them, draping her leg over the guitar. And unfortunately, I kept harkening back to Yoga Hosers as well.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I think I fell asleep during that. I don't think I finished it.
You did.
I wish I would have fell asleep during Yoga Hosers.
Yeah. We watched it at your old place. It was not a good time. I mean, it was a good time. It wasn't a good movie.
Sure.
No. So all this goes down. Band dies as a statue. Elsa, our dancer, is draped over them. And we cut to little guy we forgot about, Bucky.
I never forgot about
who is all but pretty much consumed everything except his actual skin on his face, and with a very satisfying slurp, sucks his own skin off his face through his teeth and lets out a loud burp.
Yeah,
so satisfying.
It looks like whenever you roast like a big turkey and you just pull the skin off.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, when was the last time you actually took a bird, basted the bird, and cooked the bird? According to the poundage,
I have never done that, but
cooked?
my mommy does that occasionally, so I've had some of that before.
Well, maybe this November you
maybe you could maybe we'd have a nice Malevolent Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. That would be a good Mac with No Brain episode.
I'm gonna need you to get the turkey, all the materials to baste and the stuffing and all that stuff, but also I'm gonna need you to get me an air fryer. I'm gonna need you to install it down here right next to my desk.
You guys have seen that I can cook. I'm a good cook.
that somehow and for some reason that baster would find itself in the drawer right next to that fleshlight.
What for? What for? Putting lube in it?
I have no idea.
What's wrong with that?
For whatever you want it for.
He's gonna call it the gobbler.
Yeah.
Oh, Tyler, why?
It's gonna be like those duck calls that you shake. That's what it's gonna sound like.
No, the bird isn't the only one stuffed this Thanksgiving.
I'm don't breathing myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just sticking it with 3 weeks of cum up my butt.
Ryan, get us out of here. Get us out of here, Ryan.
Alrighty.
You piece of shit. You piece of shit. On a scale.
Wait, whoa. We're not done yet.
We're not done yet.
Christ.
One more scene. All right,
Come on, Sean, you got this.
Bucky consumed himself, and we cut to final scene. It is Cassie, and she is back at Jesse's grave, professing her love once more for the pedophile who has stolen her heart
For the
forever
old man.
and ever. And she presents the ring that Jesse gave her before his untimely zombie robot death. And as soon as she holds out the ring, Jesse's decrepit hand reaches up, she grabs it and cradles her face with his dead zombie hand. And still frame, credits roll.
Fuck yeah.
Yes. Hard Rock Zombies, ladies and
then
gentlemen.
Cassie,
Cassie, let me
I
take
love you
to
so much,
school.
Cassie.
Cassie, pick you up from volleyball practice.
I don't think I can even make this joke.
No, you can't. On a
Okay,
scale from
Joe.
malevolent to blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. What do you think of this flick?
Yeah. What say you, Joe?
I would give it a soft Malevolent. I thought it was
Oh,
it was
That's
slow.
soft? Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
ain't nothing
It
soft
was
about
like
this
a-
one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I mean,
thought
it's got all kinds of silly, dumb
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
in it,
there's
Joe. Of all the
interesting
things we're
things
going to
coming.
watch.
going around.
So,
The
Oh, wait, sorry,
podcast
what-
just
is that what you
died.
No. I thought I cut out for a second. I'm not sure. Yeah, but no. I did not particularly care for this film. I would not rewatch it again. So yeah, I'm going Malevolent on this.
Damn, well,
fair
you
enough.
have it, folks.
Yeah.
There you go.
What do you think, Trevor?
I would say that I don't differ too much from where you are. I do say this is benevolent though, because this is one of those things that is so bad and so weird that I feel like you have to watch it at least just the one time.
Mhm.
Like if you're interested in this kind of movie at all, you absolutely need to at least try to watch this whole thing. It's just so interesting, especially with the context that we have now of like, it was just a bit, it was like a joke in a movie and then they just kept making more of it.
Yeah, it just wouldn't
Is
stop making it.
so like that in and of itself is like, okay, that is incredible that this kind of hangs together like a movie given that context.
Yeah.
So like I have to give it some credit for that. But unfortunately I can't give it too much more credit. So but yeah, definitely benevolent. I would say absolutely give it a watch. Sean, what do you say about this? This is kind of your movie, I feel like.
Man, it's the thing about Hard Rock Zombies, and what I love about this movie is that as ridiculous and crazy as it is, and so off the wall and bonkers, like if they would have gone like way over the top and goofy and silly a la Trauma, it would have been insufferable to get through.
It's a hat on a hat then. It's too much.
Yeah, nobody's really hamming it up for goof. They're just kind of playing their parts, and that's kind of what makes it work. And dare I say, and Tyler, do not be offended by this, I feel like in a weird way that there was an 80s kinship to the Hometown Heroes universe with this. Like,
Disgusting! You're fired.
No!
Get out of here.
Hey, what I'm saying is,
No. I don't disagree with you. I can feel it. There's a weird charm to it.
There's some bits in there that I could have seen you writing in the 80s.
Oh, I wish I could have written the lines that Cassie's dad said. Like that
Oh,
stuff
that
is
stuff
genius.
And the whole, a lot of the stuff in that, in the town hall meeting when they start going off the rails and improvising and
that was the part that really reminded me of a lot of Tyler's writing was the town hall part. I don't know.
Let's argue about small town politics for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
that sounds like
monster room.
yeah. Well, yeah.
And it's got a mayor in it. You know, I love a good mayor.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh dear Lord.
So mostly benevolent. Brian, I want to ask you, okay, as the Blu-ray, for lack of better word, and because of the context of the film, Nazi.
I get what you're saying.
Yes, thank you. Are you now happy Are you proud to have Hard Rock Zombies in your collection? Because I know what a stickler you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to go ahead and give my rating right now. It's a benevolent. Absolutely benevolent. Yeah, no, I'm very happy to have this. Again, the reason I got it in the first place is because the other movie that it was packaged with is Slaughterhouse Rock, which is a movie I saw a lot growing up, and it's kind of an undersung movie, and I was like, oh yeah, and it's good packaging, whatever. And I thought, well, Hard Rock Zombies, whether it's good or it's bad, doesn't matter. I'm getting it for this movie. It's kind of like a bonus. Now, though, I am so happy that it's part of the collection and that I have it on the shelf, because this isn't something I'm going to watch often. But I could see myself once every 2 years or something, middle of the night, you come home, it's the weekend, you want to put on something dumb and silly to fall asleep to, that has a certain vibe, a certain mood. Hard Rock Zombies for me is going to fit the bill. It's one of those kind of things. It's one of those late Saturday night, just throw it in.
It was literally made to be in the background.
Yeah, it doesn't do, even though it is very kitchen sink, it doesn't do the kitchen sink sort of approach that a Troma movie does. But I would say if you are a fan of Troma, the 80s Troma, the early 80s Troma stuff, Toxic Avenger, etc., this sits on the shelf next to that in that kind of, there's bad taste, a bunch of people who aren't actors, some good goofs and some good gore here and there and stuff. And it sits on that shelf with that, or a movie like Street Trash. So if you like that kind of weird shit, you'll like, I think you'll like Hard Rock Zombies. And one of the reasons I liked it is it's one of these movies that even though I watched the documentary, I still can't understand it's a world where a movie like this exists. It feels like Aliens, that whole thing where aliens came down and tried to make a horror movie. It just, I don't feel like these people really exist in real life. I know that they're, now that they were actors and they went on to be in bands and stuff, but it's one of these things that I don't understand. I can't picture myself on that set. I can't picture myself in a world where these people were just waking up every day and making this movie. And that's the reason I like these kind of weird old things like this. It's just it's something that I don't see every day. So yeah, it's not the most beloved movie, benevolent movie I've ever watched, obviously here, but it's up there. And yes, long-winded answer, Sean. I'm very happy to have a nice version of this, and all the special features and everything. So, I think Tyler, that's all that's left.
Okay. Gosh, this is hard. Like I said, I was originally going to come in with a Malevolent, expecting pushback. I'm kind of shocked that, I thought even Joe might go Benevolent, but he didn't. And Trevor was, neutral to say it nicely. It just depends. It really does depend. Like, this is such a specific movie. And
it's like a curio. It's not a movie you want, to me. It's like a weird object.
Yes.
Look at every now and then.
It's worth seeing once, at the very least, if you like horror and you just want to see the weird little corners of the genre that aren't talked about quite as much. Although this does have a big following online, and it's a hard sell.
Come to terms with how you like to watch movies, because this is something that maybe I would enjoy much better with company, as opposed to after a long day's work and being frustrated about 80 other things and then coming home and getting like a bukkake. Like it's just a lot. So and again, the story is fascinating. I had that's the weird thing about Hard Rock Zombies. Any of the other, I don't know, lowbrow, low budget filmmakers out there that we've talked about or who fill in the void of Malevolent movies could have made this with the full intent of this being the movie that it's supposed to be. But the fact that it's a background thing, like Sean said, there's a charm to it. Weird things come through that like don't deserve to be here, but because of people having a good time, it did. So I'm going to say neutral, but there are days where I would feel malevolent, and I think there are days where I'd feel like this is super benevolent. So it just depends on the day. Ask me in a year, and I'll probably change my answer.
All right, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
And one other anecdote that's interesting about this movie is the guy who played the drummer in this movie. His name is escaping me right now, but in real life,
O'Houlihan.
Yeah. In real life,
Sam Mann.
Sam Mann, yes. In real life, after this movie was done, he apparently didn't get paid, he said. So he went, before the premiere, they only had one print made at that time. He went and stole the print, put it in his car, went and had lunch with his friends or something, and then came back to and almost being arrested if he didn't give the print back. But he was
Holy
holding the print
shit.
hostage until he got paid. And it was the only print they had because they had just finished it. And he went to the
Wow.
projection, lied and said he's part of the production, even though he was part of the production. But he said I'm here, I'm the executive, and just took the cans, put it in his car, went to have lunch, came back, and everyone was freaking out and going to call the cops.
What a terrible projectionist. What the
Yeah.
fuck are you doing?
He claims,
For shame,
Oh,
sir.
and because of that, again, talking about these weird little movies that end up having these incredibly talented tendrils, because of that, he was interested in being an actor. And again, this is his story, his anecdote. I don't know about the truth of this part, but he says that whenever he would go on auditions throughout his life, he would keep running into the executive producers of this movie, who were guys that would go on with their buddy David Fincher and create propaganda films. So the exec producer of this movie have had incredibly successful careers with their buddy David fucking Fincher. And anytime this guy would go for auditions, if those guys were producing it, because they were producing all kinds of shit in the 90s, they would absolutely not. He said he was blackballed from Hollywood because of the stunt he pulled with taking the reels. He said it absolutely ruined his any Hollywood career he had.
Yeah.
Because these guys hooked up with David fucking Fincher and became massive.
Yeah. Oh,
It's just incredible. Like these weird little things, you like
funny.
the shit that we on these weird little movies. You wouldn't think watching Hard Rock Zombies that there's anybody walked away from this movie and went on to greatness. And there's a direct David Fincher. And we have a David Lynch. I mean, God, Joe, you should be excited.
All the
Yeah,
Davids.
every
All the
David,
Davids.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta be careful. You gotta be nice and pleasant to everybody. You can't be stealing film rails and talking crass.
The rock and road trip has crashed to an end.
Oh,
We are
damn.
here.
We skidded across the finish line.
You are going to see very soon the award ceremony from last summer's event. And I'll tell you, I'm editing it now, and I'm very confused. I don't remember anything. So be
I
on the
remember the
lookout
movies, though.
for some. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
They were great. They were all
Is that
great.
the one where we make the drinks?
That is the one we made the
I
drinks.
remember I was eating bratwurst.
You know what I want? I want Joe looking like Jerry Seinfeld, standing at a mic with his arms up like, huh? And there's a tuba in front of him.
Oh, okay. What's the deal with all these tubas around? They make noise, but you can't have sex with them. What's the deal with that?